Coming back at you. What is going on? We are here. It is Thursday, February 8th, 2018. I am here with Fred Madrid.
What up?
My name is Misha Sindikovsky, and welcome to the Crypto Cave.
Long live the blockchain.
Is it it's the Crypto Cave.
Crypto Cave, yeah. I like that. Is that domain available? I like that. Crypto Cave.
Nice. So, if you're just joining in and you're not familiar with our world-renowned podcast,
World renowned, that's right. Get it right.
cryptocurrency has experienced a bit of a slump along with the stock market and pretty much all other investment vessels that I've been trying out for the last year and a half or 2 years. So this is the part that is not always the fun and happy and we made a lot of money part. This is the part where you say, oh shit, should I have been pulling out my money all this time?
I know, right? Yeah, it's tough, man, because especially in crypto, like right now, like usually I would hedge by using Tether, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Tether is just really sketchy right now. So
they were making up false transactions.
No, because no one has done a full audit on their company, making sure that they say what they're doing is what they're doing. So it's usually what I would do is I would hedge, if I knew the market was going down, which I kind of did, Well,
we were on here, 3 episodes ago being well, I mean, I can't tell you it's not a bubble.
yeah. Yeah, so it's usually you would hedge to USD Tether to let the dip happen. And then when you can buy through the dip, switching it back, buy your BTC when it's at its lowest, and that's how you would make money on a downtrend. But Tether, there's not a lot of options for hedging, right? So there's USD Tether, and then there's also this new project. It's called the DAI. I've mentioned it before in our previous podcast, but not a lot of exchanges are implemented it yet. So it's because we're at
the DAI?
Yeah, DAI.
What is that?
It's just it's a stable coin. It's similar to what Tether is doing, but except it's not pegged to the US dollar like they say they are.
Yeah. It's
pegged to their own coin. It's an Ethereum token called the Maker. Okay. I don't know the logistics of it, but the way they keep it stable is they sell the other coin, so it's pegged to that token, so it's not pegged to the dollar, it's pegged to their own token.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So just to paint more context around this, I'm on Coinbase looking at this. Bitcoin is at 7,800 when it peaked, as we know, is around 19.8. Bitcoin Cash is at 1,200 right now, when at one point it was up near 3,400. Ethereum peaked at around 1,400, currently 785. Litecoin peaked, I would want to say $340, $339, and currently is at 143. So huge losses in the last month and a half. Overall on the year, however, all of these guys are still way ahead. I think that's part of the problem, or that's part of what's going on right now is that short term, it looks like everything is plummeting.
Yeah. It was maybe everything's crashing.
I read an article yesterday. I was maybe this is a good thing long term.
No, it is. I mean, this is what the market needs. It goes through cycles, right? So if it goes up really, really high, it needs time to breathe. In all markets, anything that goes up really, really high
must come down.
Yeah. So it's this is why, like, during these times, it's important to always do your research and believe in the coin. Otherwise, I see a lot of like people posting like, I'm getting out of crypto.
Oh, really? You've seen that?
I'm seeing it, man.
I haven't really
Dude,
been on my
it gets
social
pretty
media
bad,
game
like,
recently.
Like, someone posted something on Facebook, like a hotline for like suicide.
What?
That,
about
like,
the crypto?
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh snap! This is getting serious. Like, people,
Dude, it's like the
committing
stock
suicide.
market the stock market crash in 1929, and people jumping out of buildings.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's awful.
And it's like, so this guy posted something and started a hotline because like some of his relatives, I guess, committed suicide
because of cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
generally
because they got
speaking?
into crypto and like
Oh my
put
God.
in like a significant amount of their. That's why you shouldn't put money that you can't afford to lose. That's like the number one rule.
100%. And also, if you're listening to this and you are for some reason feeling that down about any cryptocurrency losses, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. I just looked that up. 1-800-273-8255.
Yeah.
Available 24 hours a day. Do not kill yourself if you've lost some money.
Yeah, man. It gets pretty serious. And I feel bad because, crypto shouldn't be like that. Like,
well, all right. Well, that's an interesting statement. What do you think? What do you think it's supposed to be like? When you have spent all this time thinking about, do I believe in this? Do I not? Because I honestly, like, at this point now, with so many of them, I'm kind of like, oh, this is like Candyland. It's like, oh, this coin is going to do this for the unicorns and the fairies, and then this corn is.
There's a lot of hype, man. People promising big projects, and they're like really ambitious, but yeah, I mean, we're at that stage where it's like pre-internet, right? Everyone's like, oh, we're gonna do this, but we're not really there yet. We're like at modem, like everyone's promising like live stream and like augmented reality when we're still like at like 56K modem. you know,
I hear that. I definitely hear that.
That's why it's like it's a patience game. It's kind of like poker, It's like you just gotta wait your hand, because like, dude, I've experienced it. Like, the more moves I do, is like the more I fail. Like, like there's this app.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
it's kind of like like if you're not a super savvy investor, which I'd argue 99% of the world is not. Maybe it's just like, hey, squirrel some away and then stop thinking about it, and then live the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Not that I can practice what I'm preaching, because I think about it. My girlfriend says I'm thinking about it too much. But
yeah, it's like poker. It's like if you play too many hands, it's like your odds are against you, right?
Yeah, totally.
So it's a patience game. So you just gotta know the project. Like, you gotta understand the project. I think that's the key. It's like you gotta fall in love with that project. Otherwise,
believe in the development team. Like, that's the hardest part for me, is like keeping up with and understanding who actually is who they claim that they are, and who is just posturing.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm the CFO of this company, or not
there's
CFO. I'm the chief technology officer of this coin that turns leprechauns into.
There's so many projects like that. It's like I can't even count. I mean, I've been scammed a couple times.
Talk about that experience. What was that experience like?
Well, dude, I was like, it was the ICO of like well, here's the thing. Here's how it works. It's because I get my news like from like Facebook. So what happens is like these scammers or whatever, they'll post like really good information. Like they'll get your like trust or whatever, and then they'll suggest their scam like, after a couple good leads, and they'll say, oh, get this coin, or
wow,
that's
sophisticated.
Yeah,
so like they'll give you a couple tidbits of news or like accurate, good info.
Yeah, and then so you're like, oh, this guy's been like on point, and then all of a sudden they'll like suggest like this one-off like ICO, and then like, yeah, just buy it, So I was like, oh yeah, I trust you. You've been like right all along. So it's important to like do your own research and like fall in love with the project. Like
totally.
And that's how I got scammed. Like this guy, like, oh yeah, get this coin. It's like one of the first gambling coin. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Blockchain, casino for gambling. It's like there wasn't a lot of that back then. And so I invested, and like the moment the ICO ended, like it went on to the exchange, and then it just like dumped. Like 90% of the value just
like dissipated immediately.
Yeah. Damn. 90% of the value. I was like, oh no. I was like, no.
Did you know it right away?
Yeah. Well, I held on to the coin for like the longest time, and I mean, I lost maybe 70% of the value, but I held on to it, expecting the developer to do something, but no, they just created the coin, and they had no intentions of building the project.
Man, that is so shady.
There's a lot like that. Like,
and have those people gotten reprimanded at all?
No, because it's unregulated, man. That's why cryptocurrency. That's why Facebook.
So people can just do that. So that's super, super key. It's super key to do your due diligence tenfold.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of these bad actors that you got to look out for, because it's an unregulated industry, and it's hard to track. So it's like, it's hard for regulators to find these bad actors. And so definitely do your own research, and just focus on the really good projects, and double check yourself.
Yeah, man, that's very, very sound advice.
Yeah, that's why like Facebook, a lot of these like regulation that's hammering down on like these governments like China and South Korea, is that there's a lot of scams.
So what do you make of China banning cryptocurrency altogether? Can you give a little bit of background, if you can, about what exactly happened, and what do you make of the future of what cryptocurrency has in store for it there?
I think China used to like be the majority of like the mining, majority of the trading, right? For like years. And so like when it started picking up like significantly, a lot of these millionaires, crypto millionaires, is they're getting away with like not paying taxes, and like they couldn't control cryptocurrency. And so China, being China,
a communist country that is all about
things
control.
That they can't control, they'll ban it. So like,
but can you really ban it? That's my question. Can you really? Are people now just going to be doing it on the black market there?
Yeah. You can't. The way blockchain is designed is like, it's hard to take it down. Like you really need
just an internet connection, right?
Yeah. You either need to turn off the internet, but they're gonna make it really, really hard for people to get involved. Like they'll start banning like IP addresses and like websites, just like how they banned like Facebook, Google, etc. It's gonna be like that. So they're gonna have their own version of like cryptocurrency eventually. People are betting it's like Neo,
which is the Ethereum competitor in China.
Yeah, that's why it's like getting a lot of traction, getting a lot of like publicity. But I mean, I like Neo. It's a great coin. It's easy way to make passive income. You can just store it on your wallet. But yeah, these projects are still.
What's the yield? Do you remember what the yield is?
What do you mean yield? Like
how much of a dividend does Neo pay? Like I feel like I have some in Binance, but it hasn't gone any bigger.
Yeah. So the way you could use this website, I think it's neo2gas.com.
Neo2gas?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go check it out right now.
It's a converter.
Neo to the number 2 or TO?
TO.
To gas.com. NEOTOGAS. Calculate your Neo gas reward. How many Neo do you own?
Yeah. And most of the exchanges now are support the gas. So like if you have like one Neo, like sometimes I have like left over because you can't really transfer like decimals of Neo. You can only do whole numbers. So I'll have like decimals of Neo like in multiple exchanges, and then I'll acquire so many gas because it's just in the exchanges just sitting there.
Wait, and so gas? Oh, I'm sorry, Fred. I know you've explained this to me. I forget what the difference is. What is gas again? GAS.
Yeah, so it's like Ethereum. So like whenever you need to transfer your Ethereum to another wallet, you need to pay gas, which is the fee to pay the miners.
Right.
So this is equivalent to that. So Neo, when you transfer over Neo, you need to pay gas.
And simply by just having Neo in your wallet, you earn gas?
Yeah. So what people are doing is they're earning gas, and then they sell the gas to get more Neo. So it's like like a passive income. So it's just.
So does that mean if I open up Binance right now, I have gas in my wallet?
Yeah, most likely.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of the new exchanges like KuCoin, KuCoin, Binance, Buybox. There's like all these new exchanges now. It's crazy. They're all like following each other's model.
That seems like a fairly safe play.
Yeah, I mean we're still at early stages, so I like Neo because it's actually like building. It's a hedge against Ethereum. So like
right, if something were to go awry with Ethereum, Neo is a
the
close
next
competitor. Yeah.
During these down markets, what should you do, right? Like you can't really trade. What you can do is like you can get free crypto.
How do you get free crypto?
So like there's apps and there's projects that offer.
Oh, Sweatcoin.
Sweatcoin.
Dude, I started using Sweatcoin. How goofy is that?
I know. I have it in the background. I've made like what, $2 just by walking around.
How much is a Sweatcoin though?
It's like I think right now it's like 6 cents, 46 cents.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still something.
Yeah, for like
That's
just
still funny.
walking.
Yeah, it's basically an app that you download on your phone and you just keep it open and counts your outdoor steps. And as long as the steps are outdoor, you earn Sweatcoin.
Yeah.
At the moment, I've earned 21 Sweatcoin.
Dude, that's awesome. Damn,
It's a buck.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
That's too funny.
Does it count like if you ride a bike? That's what I'm wondering.
It does a little bit. It does. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not accurate, but it ends up counting some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like passive, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't even know it's there.
What are other ways that you can do it?
So there's like Steam It, which is like a social network. It's similar to Reddit, but so whenever you upvote an article or participate in like comments or someone likes your comment, you'll get paid in cryptocurrency, and it's all based on like your active participation.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of like there's a lot of crypto people on that platform, which is nice because like everyone understands, you know, the economics. But that's another free way of getting crypto. Another one is there's like programs where like you can just watch ads and you'll get crypto.
What is that? Do you remember the name of it?
Yeah, it's on my phone. I think it's called free ether or something like that. Hold on, let me see. Let me see here. Yeah, it's Freether, FREETHER. It's an app on an Android.
Cool.
But every 2 minutes, an ad will show up on your phone, and then you'll get free ether just having it pop up.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, they're not like you're not gonna ever make enough money to survive doing that.
Right.
I mean, those are really interesting techniques, though. Just like little, like clever ways to get a couple extra bucks.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also like you could even like my cousin just posted something on our channel Like you can even buy bots that will do all the trading for you automatically.
Now this I am very intrigued by.
Yeah.
I am very intrigued by this. How does this work?
So it's a software that you download, and it'll have parameters to have it. So it'll look for like signals and indicators based on like technical analysis. It'll have like settings. So like if it reaches this level, or if it reaches this indicator, buy, or like if it's, and it's just automated. So you have like a set of parameters. So like, if this is below this, sell, or like buy. So it's doing it on its own. It's a bot. So there's several bots out there. There's Gunbot. There's what's it called? Profit Trailer. I think that's what's the other one my cousin posted. But a lot of these bots are, you'll gain like 1 or 2%, but it's like, it doesn't sound like much, but you're not really, it's a lot for doing nothing.
Oh, totally.
It's automated.
I mean, if you can keep it running, like why not?
Yeah. It's like another form of passive income. That's the name of the game. Is like,
how do you create passive income?
Passive income.
Yeah, life goals.
Yeah.
Totally.
So yeah, so there's those types of projects. There's Gunbot. There's a lot of them. There's a Hasbot, HAASBOT. Just do a Google search on like popular bots, and you'll get a couple of them.
I'm curious about this. I'm curious about risk tolerance and psychology, like in this kind of marketplace right now, because I personally have definitely felt like, oh shit, like I need to pull my money out now, both of this from the stock market and from crypto right now. And I'm a fairly new investor. I've only been investing for a couple of years, and this is sort of my first ever big dip, or whatever you want to call it. I don't necessarily know if this is a crash or if we're going to look back at this and call it a crash, but I don't know. I've definitely been stressed out about it, and it's tested my fortitude with my belief in all of this stuff and in investing, period.
Right.
What do you like? Have you had that?
Yeah, I've had it, but I mean, this is where
your faith is so unshaken.
Yeah, well, because you got to look at like what's the behavior versus what people are saying, right? So like a lot of times, what you read or what's in the news is designed for you to be shaken out of your position.
Totally, 100%.
So you got to look at the behavior. So like there's a lot of like FUD, like fear, uncertainty, and doubt within like the media. They'll say like, oh no, a Bitcoin's going to go to zero, or like Bitcoin is not as good as it is. But you got to look at the behavior of what companies are doing, right? You got to look at the news. So like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg just announced he's going to get into cryptocurrency.
But what does that mean? What does he mean he's going to get into cryptocurrency?
It means he's looking into, he thinks that cryptocurrency has of value.
Right. So he's going to make the Facebook coin. Is like, we've talked about this before. It's like the whole world is then going to become tokenized. Yeah. And like, I think partly it's not a novel idea. I think it's been going on for some time. Like credit card points, I think, are a great example.
Yeah, exactly.
They have credit card points have monetary value to people. Like there are people who buy $5,000 of credit card points for $150 or whatever.
Yeah, gaming industry, like all those like digital assets. But those going to be tokenized.
And you think the whole thing is going to go mainstream so that our everyday lives are tokenized? Like that's the leap that I'm having a hard time. Full like I think it's a radical idea. I'm like kind of into it, but like I'm having a hard time taking that leap to like, no man, for sure this is going to happen, and for sure the dollar is not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah, I believe it because it's happening to me. Like I'm like a lot of my time is freed up now because I can spend more time with my kids. Because
what does that have to do with tokenization?
So like crypto allows you to link passive income, right? We talked about passive income.
Oh.
So like tokenizing, like, like all these different things, the way you make passive income allows you to do other things because you have more income.
Okay.
But yeah, that it's happening because like they're gonna tokenize your Wi-Fi. Like you can make passive income like just renting out your Wi-Fi, your hard drive.
Interesting. So, like the Wi-Fi that I am leasing from, the bandwidth that I am leasing from the cable company, I could then re-rent to somebody else.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So no one will ever. So like if you're like somewhere else, it's like a mesh network.
Fuck, that's interesting. Because I only use my Wi-Fi for 2 hours a day.
Exactly. So like your neighbors can all just like share
a Wi-Fi.
Wait,
whose is that? Whose thing is that?
So there's a couple of them. It's called Substratum, and then
Substratum.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that are.
Oh yeah, Substratum. Substratum right now is 67 cents.
Yeah.
On CoinMarketCap.
And then there's another one called something Garden. I just saw them at a conference. Let me load up the app. Where's that? Open Garden. There's another one.
Open Garden token.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, like a lot of our devices and our things are going to be able to like make passive income. Like there's even like tokens that you can mine on your phone or stake on your phone.
I think that's what Sweatcoin is. I think it's like, right, I'm giving my battery, because my battery goes quick when Sweatcoin is on.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
I'm giving my connection to basically mine, and then I get rewarded with the Sweatcoin.
Right.
Yeah.
So Sweatcoin, your mobile processing, hard drive, like there's a lot of hard drive space. Your CPU, like your processing, if you have like an old computer, you just have it on and like lease out your computing power for like, for artificial intelligence. So like these models right now, it's really just like processing and storage.
Is it that the ideas I'm not even talking about blockchain anymore. I'm just curious. Are the ideas generally so far ahead that our technology is just not with it yet, and so we need to be crowdsourcing computing power and processing power?
Right.
Is that really what it is? Like everyone's ideas and for their $1 million idea is so advanced that our super advanced computers are not strong enough quite yet?
Yeah. So like when you think about like, so like there's this project called Deep Brain Chain.
Deep Brain Chain. God, so that sounds like something I do not want to be putting in my body.
So it's like artificial intelligence, so you can lease out your CPU and people could use your CPU. So like let's say like for videos, like you want to render video, it's gonna take forever to just do it on one computer.
Right. So, but if there's a render farm where tons of computers are all hooked up, that processing power just goes real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Or like if you're a scientist and you need to make, some simulation models that requires a lot of CPU, this is how things get it allows other people to execute on their idea, because now it becomes possible to like to the everyday person.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. And so like, it's a patience game. Like we mentioned before, we just started essentially.
Yeah. It means still super.
And so like, why would you sell if we just started? So like a lot of these newcomers in the industry, they're getting shaken out because a lot of the media is like, oh no, the market is down. But the sentiment is still bullish. Like a lot of like projects aren't even out yet.
Yeah, I hear you. How do you have any predictions on like a floor? Because what I'm seeing basically is a repeat of what happened in the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, and then quick recap: 2013, Bitcoin is hovering around like $600-$700, and a bunch of people get super into it. Over like a 2-week period, it goes up to like $1,400 for 1 second. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it doubled in price!" And then it immediately drops down to $1,100, hangs out around $1,000 for a day or two, and then goes all the way down to $200 over the next like 18 months.
Yeah.
Like very slowly dripping away. And that's what I'm seeing happening now, is like there was a meteoric rise, and now we're having a pretty quick fall, or have had a pretty quick fall, where it's lost 2/3 of its value. Up until recently, it got to like 6,000, even to 5,000. How low do you see it going? And then does it just do the same thing over again and go?
Yeah, it's a cycle.
Back up.
I've done like really basic technical analysis using like Elliott waves, and like you see like patterns, and like what I'm seeing is like we're on the fourth wave, 4 out of 5.
So you think there's going to be one more down wave?
No, there's one more wave, one more big wave.
Oh, you think there's one more big wave up, and that's the 5th and final one? Why is that?
So there's usually like there's 5 waves. There's 1, and then there's a down wave of 2, and then it goes up another 1.
3,
and then 4, and then one more big one, the 5.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So it's, if you look at the charts, it's called Elliott wave theory. I don't know the details. Is just there's 5 waves in every cycle, and you see it in the charts. It's like you see it all the time. Once you see this pattern, it's like you see it, and you can kind of plot where you are. Like you can know where a good trade is if you mark these waves.
So, okay, let's do a quick read about this. The Elliott wave principle is a form of technical analysis that finance traders use to analyze financial market cycles and forecast market trends by identifying extremes in investor psychology, highs and lows in price, and other collective factors. Ralph Nelson Elliott, a professional accountant, discovered the underlying social principles and developed the analytical tool in the 1930s. He proposed that market prices unfold in specific patterns, which practitioners today call Elliott waves, or simply waves. He published his theory. Okay, well, let's see what's the foundation. Collective investor psychology, or crowd psychology, moves between optimism and pessimism in natural sequences. These mood swings create patterns evidenced in the price movements of markets at every degree of trend or time scale. Market prices alternate between an impulsive or motive phase and a corrective phase on all time scales or trends, as the illustration shows. Basically, impulsive meaning it's a little too high, and a corrective phase meaning it goes back down. So 1, 3, and 5 are impulses, and waves 2 and 4 are smaller retraces of waves 1 and 3. Corrective waves subside into 3 smaller degree waves, starting with a 5-wave counter trend impulse, a retrace, and then another impulse.
Right. Yeah, so these waves.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this analysis has been, you can put it on any market. So like stocks, gold, they're everywhere, man. Like
basically anything that people speculate in value of.
Any speculative market, it's there. Like, so I've been using that as a tool to like, is this a good time to sell or to buy? And you could see like, because you could see the different patterns. There's like waves within waves. So like, you can see it within the chart, whether it's 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week. So I did the weekly one that shows like the macro, the bigger move, and we're on 4 out of 5. Wow. So there's one more big one, and it's I looked at the chart, and it's like it's it's projected to like the 70 to 100K BTC at the top.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that would be a welcome welcome surprise.
And it aligns with the sentiment of BTC. A lot of the projections by by people like the experts, they're all projecting that same range. So it's like, okay, I could feel comfortable with this dip because of what the analysis show. So the more information that you give yourself, the more confident you are when these dips happen. That's why I'm like unshaken, because if you can see the trends, see the patterns, you're good. And that's when you can just like forget about these big little dips.
What about once the people who are in power, in charge of the currency world, the people who run the Federal Reserve, which I found out recently has no connection to the U.S. government. That's not correct. It does have connection to it, but it is not an entity of the U.S. government. Yeah. It is a privately owned institution. So what happens when these folks basically are like, you know what? We can't make money off this anymore, and we need to shut this down. Like, does that not freak you out? Because that kind of also tempers my enthusiasm.
Shut down like the U.S. dollar?
No, shut down like what China just did. Shut down and basically make the whole thing just be like, no, dude, like this is illegal. You can't do this.
That's what's happening. That's why they're trying to like regulate it. They're trying to stop it.
Well, then how do you use your Bitcoin in the real world?
That's why it's been designed that way. It's to like make it so you don't need government. What people don't realize is designed because government existed.
Yeah,
Satoshi created this
as a fuck you to the government for the recession of 2000.
Exactly, it made it so like there's no middleman. The government or whatever banks, it made it so it could exist regardless.
Yeah.
And so like that's the biggest argument of these like analysts like on these financial shows. They're like, oh, the government's gonna shut it down. They're not gonna let it happen. But they can't. Like technically they can't. Like they have to shut down internet. Even if they shut down the internet, there's a lot of projects out there that have already found ways to work around internet. That you can do it through satellites now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to propose something.
Yeah.
I think we need to start having guests on this show.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I think we need some people to come in and chime in with a perspective that's just not yours or mine, even though I think our perspectives are pretty fantastic.
No, I totally agree, man. Guess is the way to go.
So if you're out there and you got questions, you're new to crypto, I mean, I don't care who you are. You could be anybody who wants to say something and have a decent conversation about this topic. Please email us. Fred, what's the email they should email?
Networthy@gmail.com.
NETTWORTHY, net with 2 T's, networthy@gmail.com. And we'll set up a time and we'll do like a little podcast. We'll have you on. I know a couple of people have been telling me anecdotally in person that they want to be on the show, and time to put their feet to the fire.
Yeah, investors, lawyers, developers, anyone that's really into crypto that wants to share their passion for it.
And if anyone has any wise words while we are seemingly going into this little bit of a bear market or a bear patch, whatever you want to call it, those encouraging thoughts are welcome as well, or those tactics or techniques are welcome as well. So, and I think we'll leave it at that for today.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next time once I figure out how to start our outro music, and that's like this.
Oh, I gotta pee.
That's definitely going in.